Hey, it's me, Phase 1. How's it been, man? It's been a while. It's actually been a really long while since I've sat down and talked to you. Like this anyway, face to face and personal. Anyway, alright, so I've got a little story, a true story that I want to tell you today. It is about kind of a dark time in my life, a time that wasn't one of my highlights, but it's kind of shaped me to the person that I am today, okay? So I want you to listen, and I want you to have an open mind about this, and I want you to understand what I've been through and who I am as a person. So, hi, my name is Bayden, Redshaw, if you don't know me. I'm 17 years old. I'm turning 18 in 16 days. And I have experienced bullying in my life. I said this in my last video I did here. I always look over my shoulder because you just don't know if someone's going to come up behind you and just grab you, you know, like, yeah. Paranoid motherfucker. Yeah, anyway, so getting into the story, enough of being paranoid. Well, at a very young age, my mum and dad split up, and we'd moved away from Mandurah because that's where we were living at the time. And we'd moved from town to town, and in these towns I'd experienced mild amounts of bullying, like really small amounts, nothing big, nothing crazy. And then, like, because we had our house broken into every single town that we moved to ever since Mandurah, okay? So we had Narrogin when we moved there. The house was broken into. Someone had cut up through the floorboards and come in and stole all my horror movies, because I'm a big horror movie fanatic. If you're a close friend of mine, or if you are a friend of mine, you should know that by now from my Facebook wall and, you know, just, yeah, YouTube, everything. You should know that. Anyway, so they stole all my horror movies, and then we went to Carnarvon, and, you know, I built the collection up again, and then, you know, once again the house was broken into, but this time they'd smashed a car through the back of their house, through like the sliding door, and smashed all through, and then got axes and axed our TV, cut up our chairs and everything like that. So yeah, you know, I've been through a lot of crap in my life anyway. So so I was kind of used to this, but I wasn't really expecting what was going to happen to me when I'd moved to a place called Busselton, Western Australia. I'd been through being the outcast and, you know, the different guy that no one really wants to talk to, but I'd never had it to this length of how bad it was, okay? And here we go, I'll tell you. Before I get into it, I want to tell you something about myself. I don't know what you're going to think when I tell you this, but I'm just going to tell you anyway. I was born with a little thing called pervasive developmental disorder. It's kind of, they said it's kind of like a form of autism, but I've never really thought about it. I've never really, I've Googled it once and that was it. You know, I didn't want to know much about it. I just wanted to live my life and be who I am. And that's how I've lived my life. I haven't lived it and studied into this thing that I was born with. And I haven't really thought, okay, well, I'm going to let that limit my educational way of learning and everything. I just didn't care. Yes, throughout a lot of my primary school years, I went to educational support centre because my mum thought it would be good for my learning to do that. And, you know, I've met a lot of lovely people there, and of course I was in a different environment, as it was just different to what a lot of people go through in schooling, you know, because it's just you're around a lot of people that aren't 100% there, like, say, you or me. Anyway, so I did that, and then, you know, because I was that kid in that class, and, you know, people looked at me differently just because I went to that educational class, you know. So then I moved to Busselton, and I was doing it there as well. But it just got worse, you know. A lot of people were just stopping and staring and bullying, you know. They just calling me names, pushing me, punching me, starting fights. And, you know, I kind of had started fights back, you know, because I was getting pissed off. For a long time I was getting pissed off. And, you know, it kind of built up over the years. And by the time I got to high school, it just got worse. The bullying increased. Because in high school, you know, you get older, you think of new ways to torment people, and that's what these kids were doing. They were thinking of new ways, their minds were expanding. Okay, what can I do to fuck this kid's life up even more? And that's kind of what they did. They found out new ways, pushing me off a moving bus, things like that, you know. And, you know, one day I had had enough. I was sick of being that kid that was pushed around, and I'd got angry, and I went off at them all. I just went psycho. I threatened them. I said, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to go get a friend that knows a man named Mark Brandon Chopper Reed. If you don't know him, he is a big, he's kind of a celebrity, but he's probably not the nicest man. You wouldn't want to run into him down a dark alley, I'll tell you that now. He's cut his own ears off. He's a bit of a nutcase. Anyway, I had a friend who knew him, and he said, well, he doesn't like that sort of shit, so I can get him into contact with you. But, you know, I'd threaten them, but I wasn't ever going to do that, because I'm not someone that is like that, you know. I'm a person with a good heart. I don't like to threaten people. I don't like to fight. Of course, you know, I'm not a fighter. But I will defend myself if I have to. You know, we all have to defend ourselves. So, you know, one day I just had enough, and I went psycho at these dudes, and then they started giving me death threats. And then after, when I'd sort of stood up for myself, they kind of started targeting me outside of school. You know, they just wanted to target me outside of school. So they kind of, you know, when I was going to the cinema and shit, they were waiting outside for me and get out. You know, they'd say shit, smart shit, and they'd, you know, bump into me and push me and shit. And they'd just try and be real aggressive and, you know, just real horrible people. And so yeah, I got really paranoid, because they started, you know, going with the death threats and everything like that. And they said, okay, well, if you come out and, you know, wherever, if we see you, you're gonna fucking die. So I didn't leave the house for 8 months. I was that paranoid. I played games, I went online, I did everything but go outside. You know, I didn't want to go outside. I was paranoid. I was scared for my life. I'd been tormented for such a long time that it got to my head, and it affected me mentally. It still does at times, you know. And it changed my way on how I look at life. It changed my feelings about school. I hate school. I don't want to go to a public school. I really don't. So after that, we just thought, no, there's nothing left for us here, so let's move. My dad was dying of cancer, so we said, okay, well, let's go. Not my dad, fuck. He's kind of like a dad, you know. My mum's dad, sorry, was dying of cancer, but he's very much like, he's kind of a real big father figure, you know, because he was there for quite a bit, you know, so in my life anyway, and he was dying of cancer, so I thought, you know, let's move to Albany here, and you know, we'll stay with him before he passes. And, you know, basically, you know, it affected me that bad that I didn't want to go to any public school. And so I went to Christian schools. I went to other schools other than a public school. I was just like, nah, I'm not doing it, man. And I've talked to so many kids about this shit, you know, about public schools and, you know, the violence, the bullying, everything that goes on inside them. It's not just public schools, it's everywhere, guys. It's in your workplace. If you get a bully, you know, it's just not right to bully people and mess with people's heads. And people are dying because of it. They kill themselves because they're not happy. And, you know, I'm not like that. I don't think, okay, well, I'm not happy, so I'm going to kill myself. I like to face my problems and kind of overcome the obstacles that are in my way. You know, I'm not like someone that's like, okay, well, I'm fucked here, I'm just going to kill myself, that'll save the pain. I try to find other ways to get out of it. In And you know, my life has been a big struggle of battles. You know, I've had so many obstacles in my way. A couple of years ago I got diagnosed with a sickness, with an illness, and I've just been battling it every day of my life. And you know, I'm not as energetic as I was anymore. I'm not, you know, can't go running around doing a big run or anything. It's, you know, just my life has changed a lot. If you told me 6 years ago that I was going to experience all this stuff, I would have been like, no, I don't think so, man. But, you know, my life has just changed dramatically. Kind of in a negative way, but, you know, I'm trying to get into my film and I'm trying to do things positive. I'm trying to face these problems that are in my way. And, you know, I'm just, yeah, you know, it's kind of been a negative road for a long time. Not a good one, anyway. But my message to you guys out there is please stop the bullying, okay? Because a lot of people get upset, a lot of people get hurt inside, outside, you know. What I mean by inside, outside is on the inside. Fucking, you hurt them, mate. You fucking hurt them in the head and you hurt them in the heart, you know. You know, if you make someone feel that worthless, they start to believe it. And if other people are telling them that and repeating it, it's going to affect your mindset. You know, if you're around a certain thing for such a long time, it can shape you into something that you're really not. And that's kind of what happened to me. So my message to people that are struggling with this bullying stuff, if they're getting bullied right now, if you're getting bullied right now, what they tell you is a lie, okay? They've got egos that they want to boost up. They want to make themselves feel better by picking up someone that, they just pick someone. It doesn't matter, they just pick someone and they think, okay, well this person looks like someone I can fuck with, so I'll do it. And that's kind of the way these dudes think, you know, or either it's that or they're just, you know, they're thinking it's a fun, silly, sick game that they're playing, but, you know, it's not a game. Life isn't a game, so if you're a bully and you've been bullying someone and you're watching this, I've got a message for you, man, and, you know, life isn't a game, bro, and people are dying. If you've bullied someone and they've committed suicide, I'm sure you know. If you're watching this, if you've bullied someone and they've committed suicide, you'd know. And that leaves a big burden on your heart, it really does. If you've bullied someone to the point that they kill themselves, that's a death on your hands. You might not have killed them, but you sure as hell fucking did, even though you didn't, mate. You know? So, yeah. My message is stop the bullying, alright? And please share this video around because it's very important. I want you guys to know this about me. You know, I want you guys to know my story. I want you guys to share it around. That's so everybody knows, because this stuff needs to stop. It's we can't have this going on in our world anymore, guys. Like, it's just not right. And, yeah. Maybe you found something out a bit new about me today. Maybe you found out I was diagnosed with something, you know. But hopefully you don't look at me any differently now that you found that I was born with that, you know, PDD. Yeah. Because, you know, once people find out things about you that they never knew before, they start looking at you differently sometimes. And, you know, it happens in life. But, you know, I don't care. I want you guys to know this about me. I want you to know the truth, who I really am, what I've been through, and yeah, so yeah, guys, anyway, you know, these dudes were looking at me differently and shit, just because I was going to a certain class. And, you know, kind of my other messages as well, if someone's got something a bit different about them, if they've got something that they're struggling with in life, don't look at them differently, like, oh yeah, they're some sort of, you know, low life or, you know, low form of society. Because they're not, okay? They've got something that they're battling with. They've been born with something. They've got an obstacle in their way and they're fighting it, okay? So yeah, anyway, what I've got, it doesn't affect me mentally or anything the way I think. It doesn't, you know, I've overcome that, okay? It's just, it was an obstacle and it's out of my way now. It's not something I battle with. I don't even think it's a part of me anymore. It's not really something that dwells inside of me, okay? Just because a doctor tells you that you've got something doesn't mean that you have to put up with it, okay? Alright? That's another message for you. Anyway, Bayden's one out, and I hope you have a good day. I sure as hell hope I have a good day. Yeah, have a good one, guys, and got a movie coming out soon. Well, I'm starting to film it. It starts filming on the 3rd of October. That's The Thin Man. I'm remaking that, so yeah, this time it's going to be more appropriate for everyone, you know, because the first movie, it wasn't good enough for everyone. So yeah, have a good one. Bayden's one out, and share the message. Please share the message because it needs to be shared. And if you want, you can subscribe. You don't have to. You can like and whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't know if you want to fucking like or whatever the shit you want to do. You know, I don't want to be shoving Bayden's one down your throat. Fucking subscribe, bitch. You know, like, I don't want to be doing that shit. You know, so keep well, and I'll see you soon, brother and sister. And have a marvelous day, babies.